All right, hey, Live History fans. So we are back with another actor interview, and we have one of our newest actors with us. Hi, Alecia.
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining us today. This is your first season with Live History, so it's pretty exciting.
It is. Yes, and I'm so excited. I'm so stoked.
It's fantastic, too, that you are able to talk to us. I know that you have a lot of different things going on in your life, so maybe we'll just break it down and we'll get to know you. So tell us about yourself.
Yeah, for sure. So I am currently a Toronto-based actor. I originally grew up in Calgary, Alberta, and then I left town to go pursue musical theater in university, and I did that in the States. So I lived in Ohio for 4 years. Got my degree there, and then kind of floated around the States for a bit, spent a year in Chicago, a little bit of time in New York, and then just recently, actually, about 6 months ago, I decided to come back to Canada. So I made Ontario, Toronto kind of my home base, and I've been here for about 6 months now and been loving it ever since. So yeah.
That's so exciting. And it hasn't been that long since your audition for us. It's only been a couple months. So I wonder if you could maybe tell people who are looking to audition for Live History what to expect, because I know our process is a little bit different.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, the audition was definitely very different than most theater auditions that I would say you typically go to as an actor. First of all, it was a group-based audition. So you go into the room with maybe, like 10 other auditioners, which is super cool. So you already feel this kind of community support vibe around, which is awesome. And a big portion of the audition process is improv-based, which is super cool. And so it was kind of fun. It was like just kind of, there's always pressure when it comes to, an audition, and you want to do well and you want to present your best. But it was kind of like, you know what, we can just have fun and play. And the improv aspect of that kind of took some of that pressure off, because you can't really prepare too much other than just be willing and be open to play with it. And another really cool aspect that I really love, because it's a company that like specializes in historic kind of period theater pieces. The improv that we did isn't kind of the typical improv that you're going to necessarily see on like Whose Line Is It Anyway, right? You're not going to like pick up your telephone and be like on your cell phone. So it was a fun challenge to think about that in the process of like, oh yeah, like I can't mention I'm going to go like, drive my car, because like they might not have had that. Like we're in the period of like somewhere in like the 1700s that didn't exist, right? So it was kind of fun to play with those kind of unique little period hints and try to drop those into your improv as well, to let the audience and people know like, oh, like, okay, I think I know what period we're doing. Oh, this is super funny because, oh yes, they're using older style names or something like that. So that was super fun. And one other aspect that I remember from the audition, when we first came in and we were doing introductions, you guys had said you were looking for kind of a more like realistic approach to the acting, and you wanted it to be something that, because it is intimate audiences that you work with a lot of the time, something that it's like you're having a conversation with a family member or someone important to you. And that really resonated with me in the audition room. And I just thought, wow, like those are the stories I want to tell. That's the theater I want to do. So yeah.
Awesome. And obviously you were successful.
Yeah. I'm here.
And it was so exciting. I remember having to call you, and it was just so exciting to tell you that we all thought you were fantastic. So about a month after the audition, I guess it was about a month, we all made it to mass rehearsal, which is also, I think, different from what a lot of theater companies do. So maybe you could speak about that.
Yeah, for sure. So mass rehearsal is the one big rehearsal that Live History does a year, where everyone in the company gathers together, and we go through all of the shows and all of the scripts all at once together, which is super cool. And so I think it was a cool bonding experience because we were given skeleton scripts, and so we know the basis of all the stories, but it was kind of cool to talk about different approaches and how everyone would approach a script differently. And I think that's something that is glossed over in other typical theater rehearsals where you're given a script and you're given choreography and you have to do it that way specifically. Whereas in here, I felt like we got to hear each other's creative ideas and inputs. And so that was super cool too. And it was so awesome meeting everyone. Everyone was so amazing and so talented. And I was like, this is such a great group of people. So yeah.
And that's what we try for, to make sure that you all have chemistry, because I mean, lots of theater companies go on tour. And so of course we're one of them. So it's more than just working with these folks. You have to live with them once you go on tour. So it's finding that great chemistry, and I think you're going to fit right in. Now, we did have one show for you, but it got postponed.
Yes.
I think. No, were you assigned some other ones?
Not yet, no. So just the one, which was supposed to be next weekend, end of March, got postponed for obvious reasons. And yeah, so I was going, I think it was the premiere of that show too, A Timeless Gathering.
Yes, it was the premiere of Timeless Gathering. And I know you have the historic details. We'll keep them quiet because that show is being rescheduled. And I know there's I don't want to give too much away. I've been struggling with this all week. There's a sort of secret reveal in that one. So we'll keep it under wraps. And we will be, of course, assigning more shows as we go on and the season continues, whether it's rescheduled or getting new bookings. But based on all the stories that you've heard from the veteran team members, what are you most looking forward to?
I think I'm most looking forward to, I heard some great stories about audience members or guests during the show coming up to actors, and these are stories about their hometown or about people in their life or people that they learn about in school. And so the audience member is expressing that afterwards to the actors, being like, I actually knew this person, or this person's my grandmother or my grandfather. I thought that was so cool that there is that personal connection there. So I'm really looking forward to getting to experience that.
Do you feel, I don't know if intimidated is the right word, because it's more than just picking up a script and playing a character. It's bringing people back to life, or bringing their memory back. So as a performer, how does that make you feel?
Yeah, I do think it is a little bit intimidating. I think there's a factor that you obviously want to do it justice, and you didn't know this person personally. And so as much information as you're given, there's still lots of fabrication to your portrayal of said person. So you don't want to let anyone down because you want to do them justice. But at the same time, I think that theater is all about storytelling. And so I think these are important stories to be told. So these people aren't forgotten, and their legacy can live on, which is so great. So while it is intimidating, I'm also so excited to get into their mindset, learn something about them along the way. And I also think human behavior is fascinating, and so that's kind of what got me into acting. Is I love being able to get into someone else's mindset and kind of live through that. So yeah,
that's so cool. If you could live in any period of time, and you might get that opportunity with us because we span all sorts of time periods, what would it be?
Oh man, there's so many good ones. I always said, growing up, I should have lived in the Renaissance. I love the Renaissance. I think the art and culture of that time was amazing. So I think I would have liked to have been like an artist in the Renaissance, something like that. Yeah.
That's amazing. And maybe that character will pop up. Before we sign you off for the day, do you have any final thoughts or words of inspiration or anything like that?
Oh my goodness. Oh, I don't know.
Maybe
Final
a
thoughts.
message to people who want to audition, or just a message to the world?
Sure. Yeah, no, I think right now, especially with everything going on, a lot of people are turning towards arts and creativity to heal and find kind of a place of uh, calm and whatnot. And so I think it's so amazing to see so many people turn to, you know, whether it be art or paintings or music or film or whatever it is right now, to kind of keep themselves sane. And so as an artist, that kind of, it's really like, it feels good to see the world coming together and connecting like that, even though we can't, you know, physically connect on a day-to-day basis. So I think even though, you know, a lot of like, we're not able to do our show next weekend, that gives me so much hope that when we are able to safely go out and give a performance, it just gives me so much more drive. So yeah, I'm really
Awesome.
excited. And for anyone who wants to audition for Live History, do it because they're amazing.
Even if it's different.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Alecia, for taking the time to speak to me today, and stay safe. For the rest of you, I don't know what date you're watching this, but if you watch it before the 21st or 22nd, we have live interactive workshops coming up that weekend, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time each day. And then the weekend after, there is something big coming. So keep your eyes peeled for that announcement as well, something brand new from us. But thank you so much, and everyone just stay healthy and stay safe.